Hello there! I hope you grabbed something cozy to drink because today is gonna be another paint along with me video. Last paint along I filmed was a cozy fall landscape, and this time I thought, why don't I make another fall landscape but using gouache this time, because I like both watercolors and gouache, and fall is my favorite season, so I really enjoy painting fall, forest and trees. So for today's video I picked this beautiful fall scenery with a little path going through the forest. I really like how the light hits the trees over here and then falls here on the path. It's really pretty, and this landscape is quite dark. It is gonna be really great for gouache painting. I already sketched it loosely over here. Okay, why don't we get started? And just in case, I linked this picture in the description so you can look at it, download it, or use it on your phone as a reference. Also, I wanted to mention this time I'm using Canson mixed media paper. For this landscape, I just wanted to go a little bit bigger, and this is the only sketchbook I happen to have in this larger size. And we're gonna start with a flat brush. This one is just really basic brush. I will be using Winsor & Newton gouache. I have like primary set and some additional colors to it. That's basically what I'm using today, and honestly, most of the time. So I'm gonna start with the sky. When mixing sky color, keep in mind that gouache dries up darker, and when you mix your colors, make sure you don't make your skies too dark, which happens to me quite often, especially when I paint with watercolors for too long. I'm like, oh no, I totally forgot that gouache does that to me. Yeah, we're gonna just layer it quite lightly, almost like watercolors. Because we're gonna color most of the sky with some leaves. And also I don't want anything thicker than that as a first layer, because when I will be putting the second layer, it will reactivate possibly and some muddy colors might appear. Okay, now I'm mixing a little bit more like orangey color. Again, quite light, even lighter. Okay, now we're gonna put a kind of background green color, which is bluish looking green, and also it's quite light. I know it's not looking like anything right now, but it will start transitioning into something quite quickly. On the right side, it's a little bit more yellowish. Yeah, I'm just trying to not go too dark right away. I really like painting for landscapes with gouache. I don't know, there is something about its softness. Okay, and then we will need to start transitioning from green to that orange color of the fallen leaves on the ground. Okay. A little bit more magenta. So basically we're just putting a really loose layer which we're going to be painting over soon. So don't bother too much about how it looks like right now. Just layer some color on the paper that is close enough. Play around. Just have fun. As always. I always say just have fun. Yeah, we do need to keep this middle area quite light over here. I think I made it too dark. So I'm gonna go back and kind of lighten it up a little bit. Okay, now what I would do, just start adding some main trees. And I like this reference photo because it does have quite distinguished tree trunks. So it's gonna be quite easy to do. And I do use black, but I will mix it with some magenta to make everything look warmer. Maybe even with some red. Okay. Okay, now when we put all our tree trunks in the places where we want them to be, we can start adding some details little by little. I will start with adding some darker leaves over here and over here so we can fill up that area. And then I'm gonna move slowly to the center and then to the ground. And this time I'm gonna grab the smaller brush, smaller flat brush. The green on the reference photo looks quite dark to me. Also, it's quite cold, but not as cold, so I'm gonna just add a tiny bit of red to neutralize it. Filling up this area over here. Anyway, right now I'm just trying to find those darker clusters of leaves. And after I'm done with that, I'm going to be adding some lighter shades. Just put some color down and keep some lighter areas for lighter leaves. Like there are some orange leaves on top. And the other side looks more warm to me, so I'm gonna just mix more red. Put it over here. While I'm putting the colors down, just wanted to say that if you've been subscribed to my channel for long enough, you know that I like posting plein air paintings, but the weather has been crazy lately. We had such strong gusts of wind yesterday especially that I thought we're gonna just end up without electricity for a couple days. So I was not able to film any plein air related content this week. And also sun is setting down so early that I don't really have enough time when I come back from work to go painting, because it just gets so dark so fast, and unfortunately, yeah, I'm not able to film anything besides than on my weekends. And the weather this weekend was terrible. It was just pouring rain all the time, most of the time. I didn't want to go outside at all. And now I'm gonna start adding some orange shades over here, as you can see where the sun hits. Just find some highlights on the painting and just put some color down to tell yourself that those areas are gonna stay quite bright, so you don't accidentally paint over them. So yeah, the weather has been quite crazy. It's winter soon, and it's gonna be like that for quite a long time. I really miss summer already. So now you can see we're starting slowly filling these areas with some colors. And when we start adding more details, it's gonna all come together. Gouache is almost like painting with oils. When you paint with oils, everything looks kind of crazy to the certain point where it kind of starts clicking all together, and you need to kind of push through that ugly stage, how they call it. I used to have a lot of troubles pushing through the ugly stage. But with time, I learned that if you cannot get it exactly how you want it right away, then you just need to practice and practice and practice. Because, as we all know, practice makes perfect. And I honestly haven't been practicing with gouache lately. I've been really into watercolors, but I miss gouache. Even when I was a kid, I used to paint with gouache all the time. My favorite thing to do was replicate paintings of my favorite artists, and it was so fun. When we were kids, we don't think too much about what we're doing, we just do it because we like it. And when we grow up, we put that pressure to meet all these standards of a grown-up. And yeah, it's helpful at times, especially at work. It's nice to have your standards. But at your hobby, like if you're really truly doing it for yourself, you should learn how to not bother too much about other people's opinions. Like when I started posting videos, oh my gosh, I just cannot even tell you how my perception of reality shifted, I would say. I'm like, oh, I need to paint this perfectly, I need to film it perfectly, and then like, wait a second. Initially, I started it all for myself to keep a track of my journey. Anyway, what I want to say is just relax, slow down, and try to be more playful. Okay, now we can go ahead and move to more details. And I have just this little round brush. I I think I'm gonna work on this area first and then we'll figure out the rest. That's why I like gouache. It just dries up so quickly, you can like start working on things right away. And tree trunks are very orangey color in this area. So yeah, I'm gonna work on this area for a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna start define some tree trunks even more. This one picked up some background color and it's quite light now, but there is quite a high contrast in the tree trunks, so I'm not scared of using any black. We need that contrast here. Yeah, and in this painting there is a lot of breaks in the leaves, so make sure you keep those. Some more like here, one here. A lot of neutral greens in this painting. I like moving back and forth in between different areas of the painting. It just helps me to see what I need to work on. And it's kind of nice because you can move between the elements of the painting quite quickly because gouache dries up very, very fast. With watercolors, you kind of need to settle for something and just continue going with it. You cannot change things. With gouache, you can. It's more forgiving, but at the same time, it's still nice to plan things. Because as I said, if you'll try to put one layer on top of another, it will pick up the layer under it if you are working with quite a wet brush. It became a little cold, so let's light up a little candle. There we go. This one is quite good. Smells a little bit citrusy. Okay, now when we established the base of the painting, we are gonna just keep on going and detailizing it because right now my brush strokes are quite bold and loose, which I like, but I tend to have more neat detailized pieces when I paint with gouache. And I will continue with a small round brush. Okay, I hope I will not burn anything. I cleaned up my palette and I got some nice warm water. With gouache, it's really easy to get muddy colors because it's harder to clean up from the brush and the water gets really dirty really fast. So I like changing my water pretty often. Okay, I'm gonna again start over here and kind of work around this area. And I still want to get a little bit more higher contrast with these orangey colors. While I'm painting here, I'm realizing how much I miss the looseness of watercolors. With gouache, it's really controlled most of the time. You can Also adjust the things as you go because it dries up really quickly. But with watercolors, you sometimes have to accept what you have. And for me personally, it's quite a big difference. And I've been painting with watercolors quite a lot lately, and I got used to that element of unpredictability and fun. I wouldn't say it's bad or good, it's just different. Of course, gouache is still a beautiful medium and I still love it so much. Okay, let's try to make these oranges pop. I'm gonna just mix some nice red. So I'm just painting around this sunny spot. With this nice bright yellow color. Now I'm really trying to make my brush strokes smaller and neater to get to the final look. Yeah, this is gonna turn much muted than reference photo. It's just because with gouache everything tends to be more muted, which I like. I don't know why, but when fall comes, I instantly think about gouache and painting with gouache. There is something about it that brings that coziness and atmosphere to the paintings. This branch over here, it's kind of tricky to get it pop as much, so I'm gonna just make them kind of pop on the darker background. So I'm mixing some nice deep brown color. So I'm basically painting negatively right now, leaving some areas super bright. This candle smells so good. Okay, I think that gave me better contrast over here for sure. I keep forgetting how fast gouache dries up. I do really need to get Stay Wet palette. For this orange, I really like mixing yellow and magenta. They look so nice together. I think I'm gonna mix this pinkish color for a little contrast over here. Oh yeah, that's looking very cool. It's just my personal preference. I really like magenta and I really like adding it to my landscapes here and there, as I think it's a really beautiful color. Since I have it on my brush, I'm gonna add it also over here around this sunny spot. Okay, now I'm gonna add some highlights over here. I'm really trying to create this sunny halo. I find it quite challenging. But I think once we work in all the details and stuff, it will look very nice. Okay, I'm already quite happy how it's turning out. So for now, I'm pretty much done. What I want to do though is add some little tiny details. I'm gonna work on the road a little bit more. I think I made it too grayish. I think I want to go back to more kind of warm brown. And the road is definitely much darker over here. I'm gonna add some more texture to the path because there are fallen leaves on it. I'm adding really bright red. Gonna add some over here. Also, the tree trunk over here looks much warmer because it's lit by the sun. I'm just gonna add little tiny reddish accents on the tree over here. I'm gonna switch to really small brush and paint some branches with it. Okay, I think I'm ready to peel the tape off. I'm so very excited to see how it looks like. Oh my gosh, I've been working on it for several hours. It's not the easiest painting I've ever done with gouache, honestly.